Think back to a single summer when you were a kid. It felt like it lasted forever. Now think about last year. It's already gone, and you can barely remember it. Same length on the clock, completely different in your head. Your brain is doing something to time as you get older. And once you understand it, you can't unsee it. In 1877, a French philosopher named Paul Janet sat down and tried to put a number on this feeling. And what he found was simple and a little brutal. He realized the length of a year isn't fixed, not to you. To a 5-year-old, 1 year is a fifth of everything they have ever lived. It's enormous, an entire visible chunk of their existence. But to a 50-year-old, that same year is 1 part in 50, a thin slice, a rounding error. Janet's idea was that we don't measure time in hours and days. We measure it against the total amount of time we've already been alive. So every year you survive, the next one feels a little smaller, a little faster, by definition. The clock never changes, the fraction does. For a long time, that was the accepted answer. Neat math, case closed. But it's only half the story, because the proportion theory explains the slow drift. It doesn't explain why some years vanish completely, while others feel enormous in memory. It doesn't explain why a single week in a new country can feel longer than 3 months at your desk. For that, you need a different idea. And it's older than you'd think. In 1890, the psychologist William James wrote one of the most important books ever written about the human mind. And buried inside it was a single observation that still haunts time researchers today. James noticed that as people age, the years feel emptier, not sadder, emptier. Fewer things inside them worth remembering. He argued that your sense of how long a stretch of time lasted isn't based on the time at all. It's based on how many memories you formed during it. A stretch packed with new, vivid, first-time experiences feels long when you look back on it. A stretch of routine, where every day melts into the one before, feels like almost nothing. Your brain doesn't store the days you repeat, it stores the days that are different. And here's the part that should bother you. As you get older, fewer and fewer of your days are different. Think about why childhood felt so vast. When you're young, almost everything is happening for the first time. Your first day of school, your first friend, the first time you saw the ocean, the first time you stayed up all night, the first time your heart broke. Every one of those moments gets carved deep because your brain flags it as new, important, worth keeping. Researchers have a name for the strange density of these years. They call it the reminiscence bump. Ask an old person to recall their life, and they don't pull evenly from every decade. The memories cluster overwhelmingly between the ages of roughly 15 and 25. The years where everything happened for the first time. That window feels longer in memory than all the decades that came after it. Not because it had more hours, because it had more firsts. But there's a twist here, and it's the part that confuses almost everyone. New experiences don't simply make time feel long, they make it feel slow and fast at the very same time. The writer Claudia Hammond called this the holiday paradox. Picture a week somewhere you have never been. While you're there, surrounded by new streets and new faces, the days seem to race past. You can't believe it's already over. But the moment you get home and look back, that single week feels enormous, far longer than the ordinary month that followed it. Routine does the exact reverse. A normal week at home drags while you live it, then collapses into nothing the second you look back. So the ordinary days don't just feel slow while they happen. They disappear twice. Once as you live them, and again when your memory refuses to keep them, and then you grow up. And it gets worse. You wake up at the same time, you take the same route, you see the same faces, eat the same food, scroll the same feed. The novelty drains out of the calendar, one habit at a time. Your life becomes efficient, predictable, smooth, and your brain, which only ever bothered to record the new, quietly stops taking notes. Whole months can pass now with nothing your memory considers worth saving. They don't feel fast while you're living them. They feel fast when you turn around and they're already gone. That's the trap. The smoother your life runs, the less of it you actually keep. But there might be something even more physical going on. In 2019, a Duke University researcher named Adrian Bejan proposed a mechanism rooted in the body itself. When you're young, your brain processes images quickly, your eyes dart, your neural signals are short and fast, and you take in a flood of mental snapshots every second. As you age, those networks grow larger and more tangled. The signals travel farther, they slow down, so you literally capture fewer mental images per second of real time than you did as a child. Same minute, fewer frames. And when there are fewer frames inside a moment, the moment feels like it passed faster. To a child, an afternoon is a film in high definition. To you, it's a handful of stills. The world is moving at the same speed it always did. You're just sampling less of it. So here's the thing nobody tells you: time isn't speeding up, it never was. The hours are exactly as long as they have always been. What's actually happening is quieter and sadder than that. You are creating fewer memories. You are living more of your life on autopilot. The sense that the years are accelerating is really just the sound of your own life going unrecorded. Time didn't steal anything from you, routine did. And if you follow that idea all the way down, it leads somewhere uncomfortable. By the time you reach your early 20s, you may have already lived through half of your subjectively felt life. Not half your years, half your remembered life. Because the front half was dense with firsts, and everything after it thins out, which means the version of you hearing this might have far less felt time remaining than the calendar promises. The number on your next birthday is not the number that counts. But that's only true if nothing changes, because the same mechanism that's stealing your time will give it back the moment you feed it something new. A different route home, a skill you're bad at, a conversation that scares you, a place you have never been. Every genuine first reaches into your brain and tells it to start recording again. You can't add days to your life, but you can add life to your days by refusing to let them blur. The people who feel like they have lived a long time aren't the ones who lived the most years. They're the ones who collected the most firsts.
So go back to that endless summer from when you were a kid. It didn't last forever because you had more time. It lasted forever because almost none of it had happened to you yet. The whole world was still new. Somewhere along the way, it stopped being new, and the years started slipping through your fingers faster and faster while you barely noticed they were leaving. The good news is simple: new is a choice, and it is still available to you right now, today. You just have to be brave enough to stop repeating yourself.